One thing you don't see on YouTube very often is complaints about different firearms. And the reason is that most YouTubers, their business model is trying to get sponsored by these different companies. And they want to be able to show up at their booth at SHOT Show and say, oh, I did these wonderful reviews of this and that and the other. And so often we don't hear the real story about some of these guns, in addition to the fact that usually when the guns are launched, they do these press junkets, they bring everybody together, and everybody gets a view of these cherry-picked examples of the firearms and not any long-term information. So these are guns that Backfire owns and we have used a lot. And some things that we just don't like about them. In fact, we're ditching most of these guns. They're going to be consigned at the local store. And we're going to talk about why. First one is the Savage Axis. This may come as a surprise because it got number 2 in our review of the best firearm under $350, or the best rifle. And for the price point, man, there's a lot to like about a Savage Axis. I would recommend some people to buy a Savage Axis. But there's a but. Of all the firearms I have in my safe, there are 2 of them that have rusted barrels. Only 2 have any rust at all on the barrel. And both of them are Savage Axis rifles. I own 2 of these, and both of them have rust on the barrel. Now, I don't claim to be incredibly gentle with my gear, but also, I own a lot of other rifles that aren't rusted, and so that's an issue. The bluing that Savage is doing on these rifles, I don't think you can see. I'll try to get some B-roll so that you can actually see the rust on here. It's really tough to see against a black barrel. But the bluing that they're doing is just not adequate to protect these things. Now, one of these we did have in some light rain while we were hunting, and it just, the next day, it was just rust everywhere. The other one, I don't remember ever having in any kind of rain, and still just that tiny bit of moisture, it has just, the bolt handle, the barrel, everything is really, really rusted. They're just not building durable metals with good bluing on there. Next is the Mossberg Patriot. This surprises no one if you've been watching a channel for a while. This gun is beautiful, fluting on the bolt, great butt pad. I thought for sure this would win the best gun under $350. No, it just doesn't shoot. Our particular copy, I know other people have had a better experience. Ours just does not group. So everybody says, okay, put it in a box, ship it back to Mossberg, they'll fix it. We did that. Send it back to Mossberg. They sent it back to us with no note at all of what was wrong, what they had changed. We shot it again, 3 different kinds of ammo, 3 different shooters. It just doesn't group at all, not even close. We reach back out to Mossberg and say, hey, you say you fixed this, but it's not shooting. And they said, oh yeah, here's a picture of the target we shot at the factory, and we replaced these parts. It's working. And we're like, okay, but it's not. Like, I can for sure shoot better than a 5-inch group, right? I'm capable of that. And the gun just isn't. So we're keeping this one because we're going to take it to a gunsmith and see what exactly is wrong and show you guys the step-by-step of what they do. But we got to find the right gunsmith to work with. I just moved to St. George, Utah, so I don't really know anybody in the industry here. Next, the TC Compass. This is an incredibly cheap hunting rifle. We shot this one with another gun. You remember we set this 50 yards down, and then we shot a bullet straight through the barrel of this gun. You can check that out as well. It's just not very well made. The stock is super cheesy. The trigger is really heavy and not very well made. It wasn't accurate, just had a lot of problems. Now, for a very inexpensive hunting rifle, you can't really blame it at all. It's extremely inexpensive, but it's just not the kind of quality that we would want to have that confidence in getting out and hunting with. This one makes me sad that this is on the table. This is from PWS. They're a company in Boise, Idaho. This is an AR-10 chambered in 6.5 Creed. This is a slick gun. PWS makes a good gun, and this is no exception. And so why is this on the table? Well, really, because who wants a semi-automatic gun in 6.5 Creed right now with this ammo shortage? It's like $3 plus per shot. You shoot off one mag, and it's like, oh, well, that was fun. I just burned $35, right? Minimum. So, we're seeing ammo going crazy prices right now. So I don't want to be too short-sighted about it. the ammo prices, in theory, will eventually come down, even though I saw a quote this week that it may take some of the biggest ammo manufacturers 2 years to chew through their back orders right now. So I'm not trying to be too short-sighted about it, but it's a great gun. We're just trying to free up a little bit of space in the safe. Some people are going to get mad at me for this. This is the Kimber Mountain Ascent. Well, this one's the Subalpine. It's incredibly light, sub 5 pounds. This is in 280 Ackley improved. And a lot of people, this is their dream gun. It's that Kimber 84L action, controlled round feed, incredibly light, carbon stock. But it's not one that I want to take into the woods. And there are a number of reasons. The butt pad is super, super stiff. I mean, it's basically ineffective. On 280 Ackley, I mean, for a $2,000 gun, can we get a good butt pad in there? It's just a chunk of rubber. The grip here is very horizontal instead of being more vertical like you'd see on a target gun. And so you're reaching for that trigger and you just barely get your finger in there. Now you can readjust your grip, but then you're just not in a good spot to be shooting. I don't like that reach and the shape here. Also the front of the gun, I mean, this is basically spherical here. And so when you rest this on a tree limb, whatever you're hunting, you just get no stability whatsoever. The trigger is not great. And also, I mean, in order to get it thin, to get it light, they have to use a very thin barrel. The problem with it being this thin is I mean, sure, when you're hunting, 2 shots, fine. You're going to be okay. But how are you ever going to get a practice session in if you can't even group 5 shots? You can't. It's going to be too hot by the 5th shot, and it's going to start kicking them out. I mean, it's just really hard to practice with this gun unless you're going to just shoot a couple times before your hunt. The next 2 are a message to the CEO of Remington. You got to up the quality. We all know the story. We've seen the bankruptcy, the everything happening at Remington. We get it, right? And I saw a message from the CEO of Remington showing their ammunition division anyway. They've kind of sold off some things, showing that, they're pumping things out and getting ammo out. That's great. But if you want to survive the next 100 years, we got to erase the last 20. We got to move on. And I still don't know of any product that Remington makes that I could say is good quality right now. I don't know what they are. Maybe you guys can correct me. Maybe there's some... I can't think of something. I mean, it's just... When you think of Remington ammo, you think core locked, right? You think just the old cheapy ammo that, whatever, it works, great. But you just don't think of pushing the industry and doing great things. You look at the very, very famous Remington 700. Man, this is the industry standard. Everything's built off Remington 700 for years, decades. But now, nobody would say, hey, the best off-the-shelf rifle under $750 is the Remington 700. No way. Nobody's saying that right now. They're using cheapy stocks here, butt pads. The trigger's not good. We had issues with the action, sloppy. It's just not a well-made firearm. People still buy these. They're buying them basically as build guns because they're so compatible with stuff. But this isn't even in the ballpark of the quality that a Tikka is putting out for the exact same price point, that a Bagara is putting out for the same price point. It's just not even close. So Remington, if you want to survive the next 100 years, you got to turn around the quality too. And I'm lumping Remington together. They're 783, same thing. You compare a Remington 783 to a similarly priced Ruger American, it's not even close. The Ruger American would beat the tar out of it. The Savage Axis would beat the tar out of this gun. I mean, the chamber had weird stuff. We were getting ammunition stuck in there. The stock is like dollar store quality. Just everything about this, it wasn't shooting accurately. And so... Dang, Remington, fix your guns. We want to be fans. We want to support you, but not like this. You got to show up and build us a good product. So you may be wondering though, what are we clearing space in the stock, in the Safe 4? Ooh. 2 guns that I'm really excited about reviewing. 1, the revolutionary SIG Cross, and 2, the Springfield Model 2020 Waypoint. Ooh, baby, those are good guns. Really looking forward to seeing those. I've been shooting the SIG Cross quite a bit. Springfield's still in the mail. So those reviews are going to be coming up very shortly. They are some hot commodities in the hunting industry. Thanks everybody for joining us on Backfire, and we'll see you in the next video.